After deciding on the Tomtoc Sling in the last Gear Hunter video, I think it does a lot of things right. But there is one drawback that might make this sling a deal breaker for some of you guys out there. Hi, I'm Lamar with MF Research, and today we're taking a look at the Tomtoc Explorer T21 Sling made for the 14-inch MacBook Pro. They also call it the EDC Sling Bag. To make the name shorter, that's what we're going to call it too. And it is also designed for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. I'm using it for my 11-inch iPad Pro. So now we'll take a look at the specs. We'll see how the bag is configured. We'll take a look at how I've been using the bag in real world use. We'll talk about where the bag shines, and we'll talk about some of the areas where I think the bag can improve in the future. And don't forget, this is the second video in the Tomtoc series where I take a look at a variety of products from the Tomtoc brand, see what I like, see what I don't like, and maybe it'll help you with some decisions in the future as well. So if you didn't see the Gear Hunter video where I went through all the specs and see how the Tomtoc EDC Sling stacked up against the competition, let's go into those specs real quick. It's got a 1260D Cordura ballistic nylon. It's got waterproof YKK zippers, Duraflex buckles throughout. It only comes in black. I think the smaller sizes are where you're going to get the other color options. It comes in at 10 liters. It's 15.75 by 10.24 by 3.54. It weighs in at 1.62 pounds. It comes in right around 70 bucks, but if you keep your eye out for some sales, you can usually get it around 60. It's got a 30-day exchange period, and there's a 2-year warranty. One of those years comes standard. The second year comes if you register the bag on their website. So be sure to do that if you pick one of these guys up. All right, before we show you how I load it out, let's get into the bag empty. Starting from the outside, you've got 2 little loops right there. You can put hero clips, you can put carabiners there. You've got your 2 straps at the bottom. You can put your jacket, your umbrella, stuff like that here. They actually open up pretty good. You've got your Tomtoc logo right there. The contrasted materials right there. This is the inside. This one has a pull tab with red stitching, and then we're gonna go inside. And since it's kind of hard to see in here, I'm gonna just use the cob light that I have so you can actually see what it looks like inside. So there's some space right there. There's 2 little slip pockets right there, and the key leash is right here. We've got on the back, this is the strap with the strap padding. You adjust it here. You adjust it here. It doesn't disconnect right here. So it does disconnect right here. You're not going to be able to take the strap off, but you can take it on and off when you're putting the bag on. You've got your grab handle right here. It's got decent padding, especially for the size of bag that it is. I think it's fine. I've held it like this for a little while, and it hasn't caused any problems on my hands. Wasn't digging into my fingers or anything like that. So I think that's fine. No mesh or padding back here. Just the basic padding for the compartment, and I think that's fine. I guess we would say that's a little bit of padding, but again, for slings and stuff like that, it's not really a big deal. So now, let me get my light again. You can put your wallet, your passport, notebooks, anything flat can go back there, no problem. So this is just the main padded compartment. This is where your laptop, this is where I put my tablet in this section. It's pretty good size. It will fit a 14-inch MacBook in here. That's pretty much it. If you got anything else, it really won't make that. Here's a zipper compartment right here. It's just an empty compartment. You can fit another tablet in there too. If you've got a smaller tablet, it'll fit in there, no problem. You've got 2 slip pockets, and this is interesting. One is mesh and has a little bit of stretch to it. And then the other one is just the same interior material. And then you've got some extra storage space in here. So now that you see how the bag is configured, let me show you that real world application and show you how I've been using it to hold my iPad and all the accessories related to that. All right, let's talk about what I have in here. We'll just start from the front and work our way back. So going inside, just some tissue. And a lot of this stuff you've seen before, so I won't spend a lot of time on some of it. This is just the candy EDC that I keep for me and the kids. That's all that's in there. So I don't keep much in there in the front. All right, in here, I've got the Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch with some stuff in here. Eventually I'll do a review on that. I've got this pouch. This is coming, I think this review is coming out next week. My flashlight, the Sofrin, I think it's the 38T. And we're going to use this a little bit because it's hard to see in here sometimes. So let's just do that. My bandana, some earplugs, first aid. Throw my wallet in here. Sometimes throw it in the back, wherever. My Bastion pen. see if it's down there. Even with the lights on it, you can see it, but it's not that easy to see. I think that's almost all. And I keep this cob light in there, and this is what I use if I want to see inside. So what we'll do is we'll just put that over there and keep looking in. So here, I don't have it in here in the moment. Let me grab it. This is just my iPad with the pencil. You see it fits right in there. I'm gonna leave that in there for right now because I want to see something too. So this is the zipper compartment. I just have my external battery right there. I have the mini keyboard that I use right there. I've got the MagTame magnetic cords. I've got my portable MiU handheld console. And that's all that's in there. And what I want to test real quick, because I just want to see how well the iPad fits in there. It'll fit, but it won't fit with the pencil. So if you have, say, something else, you can fit the iPad in there. If you have the 11-inch, and you can fit the larger in there. If you got your 14-inch MacBook, you can fit it there. But for me, I'm going to keep it in here because I like to keep the pencil attached. So that's where I'll put that. And then in the back, I usually put just a notebook in here. And then I've got my Black Panther Hank that my wonderful wife made for me. And that's pretty much all that I keep in here. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put my AirPods in here. Sometimes I'll put a wireless microphone in here. Sometimes I put my headphones in here. But for right now, that's pretty much all I put in here. And if you notice, when I put everything in there, I still had extra space in there. There's plenty of space in this bag for all you need running your errands. Hey, I hope you're liking the video so far. Don't forget to like, comment with any gear reviews you'd like to see in the future, and subscribe to MF for Research. Any support helps grow my little small corner of the EDC community. Now back to the video. Okay, so now that you've seen the bag, I've spent some time with the bag. Let's talk about what I like about the bag. First of all, the space and the organization are fantastic. There's tons of space. There's more organization than I expected, so that's a good thing. There's padding and protection for your laptop or tablet, whichever you decide to put in here. There actually is enough space for a laptop and a smaller tablet. I would use one or the other, but you could in a pinch if you had to. It definitely makes a good personal item on a flight. It's got just enough space to hold what you need, and it'll fit under your seat, no problem. The shoulder pad, when you get it right, is pretty comfortable. And for Tomtoc, at the price, you're definitely getting a fantastic value with good materials, good quality. It looks like it's gonna hold up over time, and it just does what you need the bag to do. So now, I don't really wanna call them cons anymore because to some people they don't matter. So what I'll call it is areas where I think the bag can improve. And if it's not a deal breaker for you, by all means, pick one of these bags up, you'll be happy. But if it is a deal breaker, there's some other stuff out there. Let me know if you have any questions about that in the comments. So first up, and this just might be me getting used to a large sling. To me, it didn't really feel like a sling just based on how it's configured with the strap. It felt more like a messenger bag just without the flap. I like to wear my slings while I'm driving, and I couldn't do that with this one. There is no real adjustability on the fly just because how the straps are set up and the shoulder pad gets in the way of that. I didn't really like wearing it on the front. It's really designed to wear on your back or on your back hip. So one thing I will say is I wish the front access was a little bit taller. So if you took the bag right here and made this section just a little bit taller, you could fit a couple more things in there. What I was always finding is I was needing at least a ½ inch to a ¼ inch more space. While the organization is pretty good, I do kind of wish there was an admin panel on the inside. Just a small one, maybe a couple pin loops, and that's really it. I think they could add that and the organization would be pretty dialed in. It'd be flexible enough for you. It would also give you a little bit of organization, especially since the interior is the way it is. While it does work with the water bottle, I do wish that the bottom straps were just maybe a ½ inch moved in. That would make holding that water bottle a little bit easier. So now, as I've been looking at slings, I've noticed that the strap is very important to me. I think that's where you interface with the bag with the most. So that's why I pay a lot of attention to the strap on the bag. So in this case, I think what happens is the shoulder pad is a good idea. The strap itself is comfortable enough. It's a nice, smooth seatbelt type material, but I think the pad gets in its way. Because the two buckles to adjust it are right there, you can't go any tighter than the back pad allows you. because the back pad isn't detachable or you can't easily remove it, it limits you. And I usually like to wear my slings a little bit tighter than this one allows for me. So if you're smaller, that's going to be something to figure in as well, that you can't really get it tight without taking the back pad off. You could get an aftermarket back pad, that's an option, but if you just want to use it how it comes, that's something you want to keep in mind as well. But if you wear it more like a messenger, that's not as big of a problem. All right, so now what I mentioned in the beginning, which may be a potential deal breaker for some, this bag is a black hole. The dark bag with the dark interior is going to be a challenge for some. I just have to be honest about that. There was a couple times where I was using it and it was somewhat dark before I got to my flashlight, and it was really hard to see stuff in there. If you saw in the top down my black pen at the bottom, it was kind of hard to see that even though I had the bright lights. So that's why I decided to get by that by having a flashlight. You might not want to do that as well. Given the size of the bag, I really wish they would have went with like an orange or a gray or just something of a lighter color just to give us that contrast, that highlighter effect, so you can easily see stuff in there. That's probably the biggest issue I have with this bag, but otherwise it's a pretty good bag. Everything else I can deal with. I can even deal with the dark interior too. I think if it were a bigger bag than this, it'd definitely be a no-go, but because it's a sling, I can tolerate it a little bit. But I just want to let you know because it might be a deal breaker for you, given that the sling is on the larger edge of sling bags. All right, so now that I've looked at this sling for a little bit, Tomtoc has another large sling. I think it's the Navigator T24. I'd love to take a look at that, see how it compares to this guy. And then I'm also wondering if it might be better, instead of going for the large sling, to go for the small backpack instead. So I've got my eye on a few. Alpaca's got one. I think Air's got one. Able Carry's got one. If you got any experience with smaller backpacks, maybe 15 liters or less, let me know in the comments. I'd love your recommendations. Your recommendations are always awesome, and they've definitely helped me out a lot. Definitely some items to consider, some configurations to consider. So keep that up. I appreciate it. So what do you think of the Tomtoc EDC Sling? Do you have one? Were you thinking about picking one up? Is the dark interior a deal breaker for you? So take a look at the Tomtoc playlist. If you're looking at this when this video comes out, this is only the second item in the playlist. There'll be others coming probably every week until I run out of items that I want to buy or try. Don't forget, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. This is Lamar, I'm MF in Research, and I'm out.